On a Sunday, May 19th, a Bell 212 helicopter, transporting a group, including Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister Hossein Abdullah, crashed in the mountains of northern Iran. The difficult weather circumstances, which included deep fog, impeded rescue efforts. Local authorities and media reported conflicting information. But rescue personnel arrived early on May 20th and confirmed the deaths of all 9 passengers. The crash of Raisi has drawn significant attention, both domestically and internationally. Inside Iran, the incident has triggered discussions about a potential reshuffle in the country's leadership. Raisi's death shifts focus to the internal power dynamics within the Islamic Republic, as the nation faces a potential upheaval in its top leadership amidst ongoing geopolitical tensions. Raisi was returning from a visit to Azerbaijan, where he had attended the inauguration of 2 hydroelectric power stations on the Aras River, a project that also involved significant meetings with Azerbaijani officials. This visit was seen as part of broader regional engagements, particularly concerning the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region. The details of Raisi's discussions during this trip remain of interest, given the geopolitical implications. In Iran, the president, while second in importance to the supreme leader, wields significant influence over the executive branch. However, this influence varies based on personal standing and internal support. Raisi, who succeeded the more liberal Hassan Rouhani, was a conservative figure with a reputation for a hardline approach. His tenure included overseeing harsh responses to mass protests and controversial decisions regarding civil liberties. Raisi's presidency was marked by contentious actions, including the enforcement of strict morality laws and a heavy-handed response to dissent, which fueled public unrest. His death has led to both anxiety and reactions among the Iranian populace, with some cities seeing celebrations that reflect deep-seated dissatisfaction with his policies. The immediate successor, Vice President Mohammad Ember, a secularist known for facilitating a drone supply deal with Russia, will lead temporarily until new elections are held on June 28th. Experts suggest that Raisi's son, Mojtaba Raisi, may be the likely successor. However, this potential succession could stir controversy and accusations of creating a hereditary monarchy, leading to further internal friction. While much of the focus is on the reshuffling of Iran's leadership and the impact of Raisi's death, the motives behind his visit to Azerbaijan remain a significant aspect. His participation in the inauguration of the Aras Dams was more than a formal gesture. It was part of a complex geopolitical maneuver involving Iran's strategic interests in the region. The original plans for the Aras Dams and associated infrastructure were developed during the Soviet Union era. However, following the Soviet collapse, the project faced significant obstacles due to new borders, financial constraints, and the ongoing Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. By around 2007, an informal agreement was made between Iran and Armenia, including the separatist authorities of Stepanakert, to secure the dam reservoir, bridges, and irrigation systems in the historic Hoda-Afarin area. A similar agreement was reached with Baku in 2016, but the conditions were not yet favorable for full investment and development. The situation changed dramatically after Azerbaijani forces took control of most of Nagorno-Karabakh at the end of 2020. This shift allowed for the expansion and completion of both the Aras dams and other related projects. Although the bulk of the construction work has been undertaken by Iran, both Iran and Azerbaijan benefit from the infrastructure. The shared projects include power generation and critical water access, which is particularly significant for Iran, given its reliance on water sources that are partially outside its borders. The geography of the South Caucasus compels Iran to source a significant portion of its drinking water from beyond its borders. The situation slightly improved after Azerbaijan's control of the Aras River and the Saransk Reservoir in September 2023. The Aras River is crucial for the irrigation of farmland in northwest Iran. With dams being built in Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Iran, the issue of water access and river regulation remains a frequent source of regional tension. The construction of these infrastructures is integrated into broader transportation networks, such as the International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, and the East-West Transport Corridor, facilitating goods flow and in between Asia and Europe. The inauguration of hydroelectric power plants by the leaders of Iran and Azerbaijan is more than a mere political gesture. It symbolizes a significant geopolitical move, aiming to stabilize the region and address historical tensions. The construction of these infrastructures is integrated into broader transportation networks, such as the International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, and the East-West Transport Corridor, facilitating goods flow between Asia and Europe. The inauguration of hydroelectric power plants by the leaders of Iran and Azerbaijan is more than a mere political gesture. It symbolizes a significant geopolitical move, aiming to stabilize the region and address historical tensions. Despite these developments, questions remain about the future of Nagorno-Karabakh. Iran has stopped working behind Azerbaijan's back, instead sharing investment costs and acknowledging Azerbaijan's right to decide the region's status. However, tensions persist over Azerbaijan's cooperation with Israel and its ambitious pan-Turkic policies with Turkey. Iran views Azerbaijan's activities with concern, fearing potential internal destabilization from the Azerbaijani minority within Iran. The dispute extends to Azerbaijan's aspirations for the Zangezur corridor, which Iran opposes, maintaining its stance that Nagorno-Karabakh belongs to Azerbaijan while challenging Turkish Azeri ambitions. In recent years, geopolitical tensions between Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Iran have escalated significantly, particularly around the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. The Nakhchivan exclave's strategic importance to Azerbaijan and the broader regional dynamics explain recent military maneuvers by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. In 2021, 2022, and 2023, the IRGC conducted exercises near the Azerbaijani border, signaling Iran's readiness to intervene if Armenia faced isolation from Iran. This stance is part of Iran's broader strategy to support Armenia and counteract Azerbaijan's moves, while also aiming to weaken the Iranian-Armenian alliance. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev is tactically maneuvering to expand Azerbaijan's territory with minimal geopolitical fallout. For example, in January 2024, Aliyev claimed that Yerevan was historically an Azerbaijani city and criticized its current status. This rhetoric is likely intended to provoke reactions and pressure Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan rather than to actualize territorial claims. Aliyev's actions reflect Azerbaijan's growing ambitions beyond the Nagorno-Karabakh region and serve to exert pressure on Armenia, especially on Pashinyan's government. Aliyev's efforts to build relationships with leaders such as Russian President Vladimir Putin and other global figures are seen as attempts to gain international favor amid the semi-isolation of Iran and Russia. This strategy includes leveraging Armenia's vulnerabilities, particularly its recent estrangement from Russia. Armenia, feeling betrayed by its former ally Russia, has suspended its membership in the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO, and is considering a formal withdrawal. Prime Minister Pashinyan is striving to avoid rekindling the conflict, and his distancing from the Republic of Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh, has prevented open warfare with Azerbaijan. However, Armenia's position remains precarious, with border disputes unresolved and domestic dissent fueled by Russia. The influence of anti-government sentiment, exacerbated by Russian dissatisfaction with Pashinyan's administration, is significant. In response to the geopolitical shifts, the West, particularly France, is stepping up military support for Armenia, aiming to fill the gap left by Russia. Iran, as a neighbor, has also increased its cooperation with Russia, while keeping a close watch on Turkey and Azerbaijan. If Azerbaijan and Iran reach a closer rapport, Armenia could lose its crucial support, forcing it to make significant concessions. Statements from Azerbaijani President Aliyev and the late Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi during a ceremony at the Aras River in May 2024 highlighted their seemingly close but dissonant political relationship. Aliyev praised the partnership with Iran for regional stability, while criticizing Armenia's reliance on external help and the OSCE Minsk group for failing to resolve the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. His rhetoric emphasized Azerbaijan's commitment to resolving the conflict through political and military means, respecting international law. On May 19, 2024, a tragic helicopter crash in northern Iran claimed the lives of Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian, and 7 others. The crash, caused by difficult weather conditions and dense fog, complicated rescue efforts. The authorities and media initially provided conflicting information, but by the morning of May 20th, the rescue teams confirmed the deaths. This incident has led to significant focus on the reshuffling of power in Iran and the implications for regional geopolitics. President Raisi's death has shifted attention to the internal power dynamics within Iran, with implications for the broader geopolitical landscape, particularly concerning the ongoing Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Raisi had been involved in diplomatic efforts related to this conflict, and his death raised questions about the future of Iranian involvement and the regional balance of power. The Zangezur corridor, a key issue in regional geopolitics, involves a transport route connecting Azerbaijan with the Nakhchivan exclave through Armenian territory. The corridor has been a point of contention due to its strategic significance. Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev has used the rhetoric of historical grievances to push for more territorial gains and to pressure Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. Aliyev's statements suggest a broader ambition to expand Azerbaijan's influence beyond Nagorno-Karabakh and to challenge Armenian sovereignty further. In his public statements, Aliyev has emphasized the need for infrastructure development, such as a motorway and railway linking Azerbaijan with Nakhchivan and connecting the region to international transport corridors. Despite presenting these developments as beneficial, Aliyev has strategically downplayed the fact that most infrastructure development is taking place on the Azerbaijani side of the border. Raisi, in his subsequent speech, underscored the importance of cooperation between Iran and Azerbaijan, celebrating joint infrastructure projects and suggesting that such cooperation could lead to significant economic benefits for both countries. However, Raisi also expressed Iran's concerns about Azerbaijan's cooperation with Israel and its implications for regional stability. Raisi's rhetoric highlighted Iran's disapproval of Azerbaijan's relationships with external powers and emphasized the need for peaceful resolution of conflicts. Raisi's comments revealed a paternalistic attitude towards Azerbaijan, contrasting with the Azerbaijani narrative of a close partnership with Turkey. Raisi's speech suggested that while Iran was committed to cooperative efforts, it remained wary of Azerbaijan's international alliances and territorial ambitions. With Raisi's death, Iran faces a period of uncertainty in its foreign policy. The selection of a new president could impact Iran's approach to regional conflicts and its relationships with neighboring countries. The immediate future of Iranian foreign policy and its stance on the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict will likely be influenced by the decisions of the National Security Council and the Supreme Leader. In the coming months, as Azerbaijan contemplates further military actions and diplomatic maneuvers, the geopolitical landscape in the Caucasus remains fluid. The resolution of regional tensions and the evolution of Iran's role in these dynamics will be closely watched, with significant implications for the stability and future of the region. Make sure to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. Your suggestions help shape the content I create.